Okay, last one for this long chapter. How do we write the standard form for a circle with center h comma k and radius r? Okay, where does the formula come from? Let me just give you the formula first. So the formula, sorry, there's no space here, is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So you can go ahead and write that down. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So there's plus in between. That's a plus. There's minuses here. You got squared equals r squared. Where does that come from? Well, imagine you have a circle here. And again, the center is h comma k. That's the x for the, call that x1. And that's y1. That's the center of your circle, and you can pick any point in your circle. Here, we'll just pick this guy. We'll call him xy. Call it x2, y2. How could we relate this center and this point? Well, we could relate it because we know that the distance formula will tell us the distance between these 2 points. Remember, what do we call the distance between the center and an endpoint on the circle? We call that the radius. So now we can relate all these guys. We can relate h and k and the radius with any xy, right? It doesn't matter if it's here, it could be here, it could be here. It'd always be the same radius, it'd always be the same center, so it doesn't really matter. Okay? Now, if you remember the distance formula, which itself comes from the Pythagorean theorem, right? Because we're not going to get into that right now, but you could always draw a triangle like this. It's a right triangle, and you could say, all right, this minus this equals, and then this minus this gives you this, so this squared plus this squared equals this squared. But anyway, we're not going to get into that right now. Just remember the distance formula comes from the Pythagorean theorem. The distance formula, as you recall, d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. That's the distance formula. So we can use that to relate these guys. So let's go ahead and do that. So d equals square root of x2. x2 is this. X minus, right, minus x1. What's our x1? Right here, h squared plus y2. What's our y2? It's right here. It's y minus y1, right there, k squared. All right, that's the distance formula. But what do we call this distance? We don't call this distance d. We can call it r, radius. So let me just go ahead and change this to r, the radius. Cool. And you could leave it like that, but since we don't really want the square root here, to get rid of the square root, what's the opposite of square rooting something? It is squaring something. So we're just going to square both sides. And we get r squared equals this squaring and the square root are going to undo each other. So we get x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. And if you just flip that around, you get your standard form for a circle. So standard form for a circle, x minus h squared plus, there's that plus, y minus k squared equals r squared, where your center is h comma k and your radius is r. All right, so let's use this. Let's use the standard form. Write the standard equation of a circle with center 5, negative 2, and a radius 7. So the center, remember this is your h, this is your k, this is your r. Let's go ahead and just write out the standard form again. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And then we just plug in. X minus h. What is my h? H is 5. X minus 5 squared plus y minus, what is my k? My k is negative 2, so be careful with that. Equals r squared. R is 7. Oops, I should use the red. 7 squared. So if you want to fully clean this up, we get x minus 5 squared plus y minus a minus is going to become a y plus 2 squared equals 7 times 7, not 14, 7 times 7 is 49. Bless you. All right, so that is the standard form of a circle. Now, let's go ahead and, for this last problem, let's go ahead and graph. Let's do the other way. So given this kind of equation, let's graph. Let's graph. Let me get this righted first. Come on back. There we go. Let's go ahead and graph this guy here. So we got this right here. Remember, this is our standard form, so we know what is our h. Remember, it's a minus, so it's kind of like the opposite of what you think. The h is actually going to be h equals, since we're minusing 7, it's going to be 7, right? Because you got a minus here. This is just h is just 7. On the other hand, k is going to be, you got a minus k here, but this is a plus. It's the opposite. So just take the opposite of this, that's going to be negative 2. So your center is going to be h is 7, k is negative 2. Let's go ahead and plot that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, h, and then negative 2. That's the center. All right, our radius. Our radius is not 9. Our r equals, r squared is 9, right? If you want to think about it like this, r squared equals 9. So what do you do to get r? You have to square root both sides. What's the square root of 9? r equals 3. The radius is not 9, it's the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, r equals 3. So that means any direction it's going to be 3. So I'm just going to count up from here. Count up 1, 2, 3. Right? That's a radius of 3. I can count down 3. 1, 2, 3. I can count left 3. 1, 2, 3. I can count right 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't have a compass, but that should be good enough for now. Right? This is a distance of 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3. I mean, it's 3 everywhere, but let's just draw the circle. Draw the circle like as I can. Make it not like a football if possible. There we go. So we've got our circle with the center at 7, negative 2, and our radius, r, it doesn't matter which direction, r equals 3, right? r equals 3. If we go this way, r equals 3. If we go that way, you don't have to draw this, but basically just go up, down, left, and right in the amount of the radius. Okay, so we're going to go the opposite direction now. Use the information provided to write the equation of each circle. So this time you're given kind of the opposite task. Let's just write down again our standard form. Our standard form is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Then we just plug in. So again, the center, this is our h, and this is our k, and you know that your r is right here. I'll use a red actually. This is our h, this is our k, this is our r right there. So just plug in 10 right here. This is 4, this is 3 squared. So we have x minus h, that's a 10. X minus 10 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 3 squared. And you can simplify that. You get x minus 10 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 3 times 3, which is 9. Now if we try something like number 9, same thing. Again, you have h, I'll do it in red, h and k. And this is your r. So we start off, we'll write it out for now, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So x minus, keep the minus, don't forget about that, h. What is your h? It's negative 10. So x minus h squared plus y minus, some more room here, y minus k, what's my k? It's negative 6. squared equals, my r is 4. 4 squared. But of course, what is minus a minus? We're really going to get x plus 10 squared plus y minus a minus turns into a 6 plus 6 squared equals 4 times 4, 16. Okay, so you might be starting to pick up the hints. Might be coming a little faster to you, so let's try this number 11 a little bit faster. H and K, this is R. I'm going to skip writing out the standard form. Let's just jump right to it. This is going to be x minus h squared, x minus h squared, plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So minus and minus is going to turn to x plus 6 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 11 times 11 is 121. All right, and number 13. What would it look like if you had 0, 0, h and k, and this is your r? So again, we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. But what is x minus 0? What is x minus 0? X take away 0 is just x, right? So x minus 0 squared is just x squared. Y minus 0 squared is just y squared equals 5 times 5, which is 25. I think that is good enough, and you guys should be able to tackle the rest. Okay, so we're talking in the last section here about circles in the coordinate plane. Identify the center and the radius of each, then sketch the graph. Okay, so remember our standard form. Is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So you just have to think about, what are you minusing here? What is your center? What is your center? Right, your hk. Well, what are we subtracting? I mean, x squared, you could write that as x minus 0. There's nothing being subtracted, so the x part is just 0. And you just basically do the opposite here. So this is a minus 4. This is a minus 4. All right, so this is y, because really if you think about it, it's going to be y minus a minus 4. That's what you want. So its center is 0, negative 4. Your radius, what is your radius? R. What is your r? Well, this is r squared. Remember, r squared. So what's the square root of 4? What's the square root of 4? Your radius is just 2. Okay, your radius is just 2. Okay, so you get the hang of it. That was confusing for you. Let's just plot this. Center is 0, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Our radius is 2. So let's just go up 2, down 2, left 2, right 2, and make a circle. Okay, I'll let you guys catch up there. So again, what you have here is you don't have to put this, but you have your center is negative 4, and you can see that any distance from the center, that's a distance of 2, that's 2, that's 2, everywhere is 2. So we've drawn a circle. Let's take a look at number 3 here. What is our center? our center h comma k. Well, just do the opposite. Again, this is going to be a minus 2, and this is going to be a minus 1. Your radius is going to be, well, this is r squared, so what's the square root of 9? Your radius is just 3. Radius is just 3. So let's go ahead and plot this. -2, -2, comma -1, that's your center, and your radius is 3, so let's go up 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go down 3, 1, 2, 3. Oops. Let's go left 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go right 3, 1, 2, 3. And draw a nice, beautiful circle. Okay, let's come down here. 5. So what is our center? Oops. What is our center? Our h comma k? Well, again, there's nothing being subtracted. There's nothing being subtracted, so your h is 0. Your k is also 0. Your radius, what is your radius? Well, this is r squared, right? This is r squared, so what's the square root of 25? Square root of 25, your radius is just 5. So you plot your center as 0, comma 0. Your radius is 5, so let's go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is our circle. Wow, that was, looks like a football. Okay, I'm going to erase that. There we go. Okay. Why does that sometimes? Let's try a couple more here, actually. Let's try number 2 together. Okay, so what is our center? Our center, our h comma k. So again, it's what is being subtracted here. Just think of the opposite. What is the opposite number of this? What's the opposite number since it's a minus? Well, that's going to be a positive 2. Okay, a positive 2. And what's the opposite of this number? Because you're subtracting, right? Think about it. Your standard form is like this. Okay, so h should be 2, and k, just think, what's the opposite of this minus 3? It's a positive 3. So your center is 2, comma 3. R squared is 16, so what's your radius? It's the square root of 16. Your radius is 4. Your radius is 4. So go to 2, comma 3, over 2, up 3. Our radius is 4, so let's go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we have it. So the key is basically just do the opposite of this number for the center because you're minusing, and you want to square root this number because that's r squared is 16. Square root that, you get 4.